Hey everybody, I am Erica Carlson with Bricks Real Estate. I am a local realtor here to bring you market data, whether you are thinking about buying a house or you have a house to sell, or maybe you're just curious about what's happening in the real estate market. We are going to deep dive into Wright County data, hopefully making this information interesting and pertain to you. I also want to offer you a market report, which I'll walk you through what that means. If you click on the link, you can get more information about myself, my lender partners, and then it'll bring you to those market reports, whether you want to just immediately go to Delano, Buffalo, St. Michael, Rockford, or we can customize one for you, which is what I would prefer for you. That is what I give my past clients, my friends, my family, so they can watch their most valuable asset just to see what's selling in the neighborhood, what pertains to them. So without further ado, let me share my screen. It's already December 6th, and we saw a nice little healthy pickup of buyer activity. So if you are out there home shopping, you are not the only one. A lot of other people are taking advantage of the interest rates that have been declining recently. I think also the snow not coming yet is really keeping people out there in the real estate market. If you haven't heard me say it before, weather deeply impacts whether people are buying houses or not. And so I'm looking out this window and it is very dry. Of course, it's cool outside, but that's not what keeps us away, right? It's the icy, slushy snow that keeps us away. So we went from 1.8 to 2.4. Now, of course, you could also hypothesize that Thanksgiving was in there, and that definitely would impact people staying away. But anecdotally, that little week of time, this last 7 days, has definitely been an increase in my world, and so that I normally see that reflected in the data. When we compare this to Hennepin County, they also saw an increase, so it wasn't special to Wright County. It was the Twin Cities. All together, we saw an increase of people going out and buying houses. So they went from 2.5 to 3 showings. And so just to speak English, those numbers on the screen convert to average showings per week per listing in the 250 to 500K range. So about 2.5 showings is what people were seeing in Wright, and 3 was what we saw in Hennepin. And as usual, we always expect Hennepin County to have a little bit of a faster pace than Wright County. There's no surprise there. The other thing that's not surprising is days on market increased by 4 days. So we went from 40 to 44 average days on market. Absolutely no surprise. We're now in mid-December. This is what we anticipate, is that things slow down. When we look at the data, and I do love looking at this on this hyper local way because it gives us a sense of how things are moving. So last time, which was just a week ago, we had 538 active properties, and this week we're down to 518. Now, of course, some of those went into pending, some of those sold, some of those people just took their house off the market. That is something that happens commonly in December. If there's any time of year where people are just gonna stop what they're doing and say, you know what, we might just celebrate the holidays here rather than trying to sell our house. That's very normal. The people that were in the fall market and thought, you know, this just isn't working out for us, they will pull back. So when we look at the ones with no contingencies, it drops us to 475, which is a significant drop from 496. I do think you'll feel that a little bit. If you are a home shopper in this area, you may feel that inventory crunch coming down. You may think there's just not that much to choose from, and you're not wrong. Again, nobody picks 500 houses. That's none of those are, not all of those meet your criteria, obviously. But if, you know, when you're narrowing it into your funnel and saying, here's what I am trying to shop for, you'll notice that your selection may be very, very intensely quiet. You know, like, what do I have to pick from? So hold tight. January, we would predict a lot of people that are waiting until the holidays come and go, they will list their house. Pendings dropped all the way down to 152. Again, no surprise. Just because we didn't see that buyer activity, of course, houses didn't go into pending, and then closings stayed about the same as last week. But when you look back to November 15th, it is a quieter, slower time for transactions closing. If you're watching me every week, you know that. You've been watching with me. It's just been, you know, going down the scale. So I told you I would share my market report a little bit more with you. So I want to show you one right now to decide if you think that this is something valuable. And if you do, I'd love for you to just go ahead and ask for one. It's not a big deal. We're just giving you data. All right, on my screen, you should see an example of a market report. This is the one for Delano, and I was just very general when I made this one for all of you. Just tried to grab a majority of the city, and you know, it's not a perfect science, we'll just put it that way. So you can see a little bit more data than what I share with you in my videos. Like, it's giving you an idea that we're kind of in like more of a buyer's market on this graph, giving you average prices, you know, days on market, things like that we already talked about. But my favorite part of this thing that I can share with you is playing around with this interactive piece. So let's say you, you know, just live in this one subdivision. We can set it up so we can see what is selling. And when you click on these links, right, here's that sold data. Now I can say, you know, this person had it listed for 480, they got 458. This person listed for 434.9, they got 433. So as you're looking through that data, it gives you a really good idea if you were going to sell your house. You know, what would you predict you might make because of what your neighbors are selling for? If you're a home buyer, this gives you an idea of like, are people actually paying asking price? Are they going above, below? Now, of course, a good real estate agent will give you an idea of how the market is, but sometimes people get into these little niches and, you know, maybe I haven't sold that type of property in 6 months, or maybe I sold it in a different town. You know, looking at this data is what bridged that gap. So we're writing strong offers, but fair offers to you as the buyer. When I click that off, I can go to pending. Notice that it's not going to tell me how much it's going to sell for, because until it closes, that data is going to stay the same as it was when they originally posted the ad. So don't be surprised by that. You would just have to keep your eye on it. And then of course, my home shoppers can see what's actively on the market, which is a nice feature. Now I have like everything in Delano right there in front of me. Even let me shift it by, you know, pricing low to high. Tells me a fair amount of information. If I click on one of these links, I would get more information about the property. So there's a lot of data here. Again, if I'm just a homeowner and I'm not have any intention of selling, I'm not buying a house, but I just want to see what people are selling for, this removes the need to go on the internet and do deep diving, trying to figure all this out on your own. Or maybe you don't want to reach out to a real estate agent yet. It's just too early in the process, but you want this data. This is my way of trying to like bridge that gap with you so you can get the data without necessarily feeling like you're activating a salesperson. You know, we understand that. We understand sometimes it's just not the time. And most of us, we take years. It's not months, it's not weeks. We make this decision. It starts out as a thought bubble. You know, I dream on it, I think on it, I sleep on it, and before I'm going to put things into action. So you might not be ready, you know, to talk to anybody about this dream that's sort of inside of you. You want to know it's realistic, etc. So let me know if you're interested in that. Again, the link will bring you to those options, whether you want a custom one, whether you want to grab a city version. You can email me and tell me what would be best use. If you have an investment property, we can set it up for that as well. If you just, you know, let's say you have one 20 miles away and you just want to keep an eye on it, let's set that up for you too. That's fine. If as long as it's residential real estate, I can help you with that. As always, if you made it to the end of the video with me, I very much appreciate you and would love to stay in touch with you. My website is iHeartMPLS Homes. Please take a look at it to start your home search, or if you want to learn more about working with me as a home seller, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Have coffee, check out your property, whatever I can do to make your life easier, and have a great week. Thanks.